Hello everybody, welcome back to The Takeaway. We are so glad that you are here with us today. We hope that you've had a great start to your week and we hope that it gets even better. Today I'm with Craig Rowe. He was our guest preacher yesterday and he preached a phenomenal message and I hope that you guys were encouraged. You can watch the full episode here on YouTube. It will be tagged around here somewhere, but we are just going to unpack the sermon from yesterday, but we're going to start with a little icebreaker just to get to know you a little bit. So Craig, how are you doing?
Good, thanks.
It's good to have you with us again.
Yeah,
You've been a long time friend of New Creation, but I don't think we can even say friend anymore. I think you're part of the family. You're part of what we're doing and for a long time. So we're grateful that you could always just come in and always speak a word in season
awesome,
for us, man. So it's good to have you.
Exciting to be here.
Yeah. Icebreaker question for you. If you had to live off one takeaway for the rest of your life, what would that be?
I think it's going to be a little bit different to what some people might think, but
Yeah.
for me, it's got to be ice cream.
Okay.
But then
Nice.
also got to be specific. So
Right.
Friesland ice cream
Okay.
or Moro gelato.
Okay.
So one of
Right.
those two.
Okay. Are those local ice cream gelatos?
Friesland is actually East London
Okay.
and Quebeca.
Okay.
And Moro gelato I've only found in Cape Town.
Okay. So if you're in those areas, make sure to try them out. Do you have a specific flavor?
Friesland, it's chocolate and vanilla.
Okay.
And Moro gelato usually chocolate.
Usually chocolate. Okay. So chocolate and vanilla is
That's the deal.
That sounds good. That sounds
Yeah.
good. So if you're not lactose intolerant, then go for.
They
go
might
for
have
it.
options for
They
you.
might have options for you, but it might not be as nice
No.
as the ones you've done. But yeah, thank you again for spending time with us. And you preached a phenomenal message yesterday. You kind of tied it into our theme for the year, which is living on mission for the King. And would you just share with us just like briefly what you spoke about yesterday?
I think one of the things I shared is often we're living in yesterday. So a lot of the methods we use, whether it's business, education, our methods are from yesterday, whereas God is doing a fresh new thing on earth today.
Yeah.
So what's God doing now? How does it look now?
Yeah.
Not just going back to the past, because the past is not going to get us going into the future.
Yes.
But God has called every one of us to do the most amazing, incredible things.
Yeah.
And so that's really where the message starts.
Yeah.
And it starts on a journey, just walking and taking step by step,
Yeah.
whatever the Lord's calling you to. You know?
Yeah.
So for us, it's bringing His kingdom purpose on earth, wherever you are,
Yeah.
however that looks.
Yeah.
So that's the picture.
That's the picture. No, that's amazing. Would you share a little bit, you told us some really good, some really poignant stories of what you shared in terms of this journey that we go on. But something for you that maybe was that catalyst in terms of going on this journey,
I think when I gave my life to the Lord,
Yeah.
I simply just started to serve Him wherever it took me. I was a school teacher,
Yeah.
and the story I told was I had a free period.
Yeah.
And so often in life, Paul summed it up well.
Yes.
He said often we're looking for our free period,
Yeah.
and God's got another plan with our free period. So
Yes,
I had a free period,
Yeah.
but God had another plan. And
Yes.
that free period turned out to be a pivotal day in my life 34 years ago.
Yeah.
So 34 years ago, I had a free period, pivotal day. It was November 34 years ago.
Sure. Yeah.
And so that day changed my life. I've written a little book,
Yeah.
not in Pete or those other guys. Pete's
Yeah.
written a book like this.
Yeah.
I've written a little 20-pager.
Yeah.
But in that, I tell the story, but that often we're looking for the free period,
Yeah.
but God's got something else in
Yes.
store for us.
No, that's amazing. And I think it's so encouraging to know that God's always got our back, but He's got our plans. He's got the best plans for us, no matter what our decisions are for that thing. We're looking for the free period, but God knows exactly what He wants to do in that free period, And so I think it's encouraging, even if our intentions are not
Pure.
we just want to take our hands off the wheel, and as Paul said, we don't want to get our hands dirty. We're looking to just, we live in a world that's so intense. It's, we want that break. We're looking for that, that little bit of respite. But even in that, God has a plan to use us, even if it wasn't our intention.
Yeah, and the incredible thing for me is 34 years later, I found out for the first time that one young person's life was impacted through what happened
That's
there.
amazing,
And he's gone on to reach hundreds of thousands of people
That's amazing.
with the gospel worldwide.
Yeah.
So it's a whole, there's an incident that happened. I've waited 34 years and I've heard this now for the first time. And so God was just encouraging me to say, listen, just take the first step. And I started that step. You say, what biblical basis is for that? For me, it's, I just love Jesus and I wanted to share that love with everybody I could. And I shared it with a couple of people at that time. And
That's amazing,
none of us are different.
And it reminded me of often, like, especially I think for a lot of us who have been Christian for a long time. So I think we're looking for signs and wonders and like the these kind of things to, this is the moment that But like you mentioned, you said something where you felt like you didn't know what you were doing. You get sent into this space. You just knew two things: you love Jesus and you want other people to know. But I think a lot of us are waiting for us to have all this knowledge and all of this kind of thing to back at these titles to kind of like prop us up and give us that sense of importance so that we can now take that step. But often God is just waiting for us to be available.
It's amazing. So all those years I've been part of Church of the Nations family. So this is our family, this is who we are. But in it, Tony, who for those that don't know, leads and has founded Church of the Nations and just got such a father's heart. Tony's got a very simple slogan that he says, have a go, you never know. So it's like, okay, that's right. If you're in the space at the moment, have a go. You never know what God's going to do for you, with you, and for the world at that space.
Just be available. Just have a go. That's awesome. That's fantastic. So just one more question, just to share with those of us that are watching. What would, just if there's one thing that they can go and watch this, and for those that did, sit and hear your message, what's one thing you would want people to walk away with, that you would encourage them to do?
I think basically the theme text was being salt and light. But you can only be salt and light if you really love. So do you love the space that you're in? And there's a movement across South Africa, across the world, on love cities. Do we love our cities so much? Do we love our families so much? Are we prepared to be the salt and the light in the worst of the worst spaces?
No, that's
and
amazing.
That's as simple as it is, and it's difficult. So it's radically difficult. But I suppose the question to ask every one of us, and to continually ask myself, I can't live on 34 years ago. 34 years ago, I was prepared to give my life for the sake of someone else's life. Am I still prepared to do that today? So in your journey, as you've walked for a number of years, are you still prepared to lay down your life for the King? Because you're on mission for Him, not for you.
No, and I love it, and I love that you ended that, your conclusion with Colossians 3, everything that you do it wholeheartedly unto the Lord. That's so beautiful. But thank you so much for sharing.
It's special to be with you guys, man. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, man.
We're so grateful to Craig for sharing, but we hope that you're encouraged by this. We hope that that you would take some parts of, and if not all of what Craig shared yesterday, and begin to implement those into your everyday walking out faith where God's placed you. For God so loved, I know another thing that Tony has said is, for God so loved your workspace, your university, that He's given it you, and you're in that space for a reason. And allow the Holy Spirit, allow yourself to go out empowered by the Holy Spirit to go and impact and be the salt and the light in the spaces and the places that God finds you. But we trust that you are encouraged, that you would have a great week ahead, and that if we don't see you on Sunday, we'll see you here next week, Monday. Have a blessed week. Cheers.
Cheers.